Welcome back. Our next guest, Ray Hassan, started life as a plasterer here in Cardiff before a fortuitous trip to Los Angeles, California in 1996 to visit his brother led him into his first ever yoga class. The rest, as they say, is history. Ray, thank you so much for coming on board today and having a chat with us. How are you?
I'm very well. Thanks for inviting me.
Well, thank you for being a guest. I would love for you to start by saying, can you tell us a little bit about what life was like as a plasterer before you became a yoga teacher?
Tough. It's a tough trade. And, looking back, it wasn't a profession I really chose to go into. It was, when I left school in 1975, jobs were in abundance, apprenticeship. So I just drifted into the first job that came my way, to be honest. And it was a long slog of very physical work. And the physical side of that trade led me to yoga in the end, because it was quite, as many people will tell you in the building industry, you don't get any younger, it don't get any easier. So that path led me to, out of curiosity, to yoga.
And your brother was living over there and practicing yoga. Had he spoken to you about his love for it?
Yeah, my brother's like 11 years younger than me. So he was traveling and doing everything that I always wanted to do. But, with 2 kids and a mortgage and married and all that stuff, that wasn't an option for me. So my brother's path was totally different to mine. And he was practicing yoga for about a year or so before I was traveling over to LA every now and again to visit him. And he said, why don't you try yoga? There was something on the back burner I thought about for a while, but not really ready to go for it. But I went along with an open mind, thought it'd be an easy kind of hour, 2-hour practice, but God, wasn't it the opposite of what I thought. So challenging. But I was lucky. For me personally, there's so many people teaching yoga that I could have gone to. But I think I was really lucky I picked the right teacher. I was fortunate enough to be in the right place at the right time, as far as that goes.
I think that's, yeah, I think finding your teacher is the thing, isn't it? Because there's a lot out there. I teach, you teach, you're my teacher. And for me, it's the voice. I've got to really connect with the voice for me to then go into the practice, because that's how I resonate. And for other people, it will be more ascetic or more spiritual, more stylized or whatever. But there are, the market is huge. I mean, it's massive. But just coming back to that first class for a sec, Ray, you said, you had this relative fitness, good fitness. You went in there. What happened? What happened to you where you literally went, wow, this is not all candles and chanting?
Well, it wasn't so much about, I didn't have any expectations really, if I'm honest, but the teacher's voice, like you just said, Brian Kest was the teacher there. He's a kind of a Detroit born, but living in LA. So he's a man with the golden voice. He just really pulled me in, and everything he was talking about. You never see him do a posture. He never teaches like a physical class itself. His instructions are always just verbal, and his voice just pulled me in. And everything he said, he's so wise, and everything he said was just made complete sense as far as physical exercise goes. We spend so much time beating the hell out of our bodies just to look a certain way. It's all about the aesthetics. But Brian was more about the philosophy, more about the long-term benefits of physical exercise. And yoga was one of the things that he discovered that had that effect. It just made his body feel good.
Yeah.
As opposed to what we believe we want from physical practice is to look good. So there was a big difference in what he was getting across to what we believed. That old mentality of no pain, no gain was kind of the opposite of what he was getting across to us. And it just made sense. It was very difficult. Physically, it was almost, I thought this is impossible. But like anything new in time, you get used to it, you get fit for that particular thing. And yoga just took a little longer than anything else I tried in the past.
So knowing that you've found this passion, then how have you've made it into your life's purpose? You've been teaching for over 20 years and have a huge following here in Cardiff. And I know for you, it's not about that. It's about the joy of teaching, whether it's one person or 300 people, it's irrelevant. But tell me about how that purpose has brought a new lease of life to you.
Well, it's given me, you could say it's a purpose, but, I just like teaching. As I've always been someone who likes to help. Always, even from a young boy, always helping to do things, whether it was running errands for my gran and my mum, or just helping in the local corner shop, whatever it was, I'd like to help. So yoga just sort of pulled me into that teaching role a little bit too. The yoga teacher I was practicing with when I was in Cardiff always used me as a little bit of a model, if you like, to help him with, some of the postures. I always found myself helping people in the class. And eventually the instructor there said, why don't you go into teaching? Why don't you take up a teacher training course? And just found myself, next thing I knew, I was on the train to Telford, ready to embark on a 3-year teacher training course. So I don't know, you just sort of follow your gut. Yeah. It was something I never really gave much thought about. Just said, okay, this is maybe an outlet for me for what I want to do long term, but never really thought I'd make a living from it if I was ever going to do that. I never thought I was capable of it. So it's all been, kind of, sometimes I pinch myself.
I bet. And I know your son is also a teacher, isn't he?
My son Lawrence teaches, yeah. He, with children, it's strange because they never listen to you when you tell them what to do. Yeah. But they're always watching you. And they're always learning from you. And I think that's what Lawrence did. I never told him he should be a yoga teacher. I never told him he should practice yoga. I think they just look and they see the benefits that you're gaining from it. And maybe they like a little bit of that. They see the change in you. You've gone from one profession to another, and they see a difference in your whole personality changes.
Would you, I know this is a big question, but of all the things that yoga has given you in this 20 plus years, not just physically for the body and the mind and what you've achieved on the mat, but when you come off the mat, what would you say is the most enriching thing that yoga has given you?
I haven't achieved what yoga, the goal of yoga is yet. That's an ongoing practice. That's an ongoing kind of thing. But I think more than anything, it's given me a lot more confidence in myself as a human being. Yeah, not so much as a teacher, but as a human being. The fact that, when you go through life, you're always kind of searching for something. You're trying to find yourself, as they say, trying to fit in with people you don't really gel with. So I thought yoga, what it's done for me is accepted me as who I am. I'm not trying to fit in anymore. And yoga can be a lonely path because you end up with fewer friends, that's for sure. Because you start to drift away from the people that you don't really feel you're benefiting from. So sometimes that path leads you to people more like-minded. So you go on this journey of separation. And then eventually you find that, you've left one aspect of your life, but you gain something else in another. So that's what it's given me, is the confidence to be okay being alone and to be okay with loneliness. It's a different thing.
It's so important though, isn't it? It's that feeling of just being comfortable in your skin and connected to yourself. And that, like you said, that's a life's work.
Always changing, yeah.
So Ray, last question then. If there's someone out there listening who is potentially delaying finding their passion, their purpose, the thing that brings them their joy, whether it's yoga, plastering, whatever it is. What's a piece of advice you may give to them?
Well, you can achieve so much in a lifetime. There's never any time to say, oh, well, I'm too old, or whatever's holding you back. I was very late coming into yoga, but what I feel is, you can just make that change. Don't be too frightened of a total change in professions. This is what I found. My safety net was plastering. I had a good kind of reputation in Cardiff as a plasterer. So to let all that go, to jump into another profession, totally different, was a bit scary, but, believe in yourself. Things always get a little difficult in the beginning, always will. But in time, if you believe in yourself and you believe in what you're going into, the profession you might love, I don't know, just don't give up on it. Whatever effort you put into it, you'll benefit from.
Yeah.
It's like the practice on the yoga mat. You put the time in, you put the effort in, and eventually in time you see the fruits of your labor. It takes time. Don't give up so easily. And all that up and down stuff we go through, the vicissitudes we go through in any profession, it's all experience, it's all wisdom. And that's essential. For you to go on and develop and to be better at what you do, you need that experience. It's not going to come overnight. So, be patient, persevere, and, just don't give up on your dream.
Amazing. Thank you so much. I'm so glad that we've got you as a teacher here in Wales. I'm so glad that my parents, thanks to you, are both on the path. They're in their 7th year, and to see that the benefits of the practice in my family's life is something that I'll always be so grateful to, and grateful to you. So thank you for coming on today and sharing all of that.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me. It was a pleasure. Nice to talk about something that you actually believe in.
Yeah. See you soon. See you Thursday.
Take care. Thank you.